All right, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Healing Vocals, the podcast about music, um, good deeds done in the world, all the wonderful artists, everything that's done out there in the music world. Music is very, very healing, and we talk about that. And we introduce artists and music and producers and creators to our show. So, welcome. We have a special guest today. His name is Kaden Collins, and Kaden runs another podcast. So, welcome, Kaden.
Well, it's great to be here. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm looking forward to our conversation. We just spoke yesterday. I had you on my show yesterday, so thank you for having me on. It's an honor, and I can't wait to hear your fantastic questions.
Absolutely, Caden. Caden is the host of the KGC show, and he has an interesting story about how he got into this. Caden, can you tell our viewers a little bit about you, what you do in your podcast, and your music?
Well, yeah, I'll tell you about the podcast. I got into podcasts. February 2020. After the death of my grandmother, it took a beating on me. It took a beating on my family, and it really affected everyone around us. Well, I didn't want to sit around and, have a pity party, all pity poor me, sad situation and everything. And I wanted to take my pain and inspire somebody that they can do what I'm doing or what we're doing here today. And so I remember the day she passed away, I sat down and wrote a podcast, and a few days later, Kenny Rogers passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did another one of those. And I never really got into interviewing. I thought about just really cool, stupid little things. But, I never knew. Back in 2020, I didn't know the direction that I wanted to go with the thing.
Sure.
And it took a lot of praying. It took a lot of, but then there was a magical guy who came into my life. His name was Jeff Panzer. And Jeff is a legendary producer. I mean,
he is.
MTV, everybody knows Jeff Panzer if you're a director. And if you don't, shame on you. That's all I got to say. That dude is class all the way, and I love him for that. But, Jeff Panzer got a hold of me one day, and, my original podcast name was the Spokane Man Podcast. And Jeff Panzer calls me up one day. I know original, right? And Jeff Panzer calls me up one day, and he goes, "Hey, man, what's Spokane using you to use their name in your show?" And I said, "Nothing. You kind of got me thinking, Jeff." And he goes, "Why don't you change it? You're not. You think you're some type of Spokane. What if you move away? You can't be known as a Spokane man." And
That's true.
Yeah. And so I said, "Well, what do you? I built my kind of career around this, man. You're kind of tearing it down." And he goes, "No, man, I'm not. I'm not tearing you down. I'm just, I'm just building you up, and I'm trying to rebrand you." That's what he told me. He said,
Yeah.
Spokane's never going to pay you, so don't use their name. But he said, you got to make a name for yourself, because what if the people watching your interviews wants to know about you,
Yeah.
And so he goes, "What are your initials?" And I said, "KGC." And he goes, "Man, you should do the KGC podcast and eventually use or drop out the last name podcast." And I just said back to him, "The KGC show." And he goes, "Great." And from there, we got our first guest on, Danny Stefanetti, wow, that's incredible. She just won a Josie Music Award. She was nominated.
She did.
nominated for 6, but walked away with 1. William Lee Golden, and the Goldens won 1. So congratulations, William Lee and Chris. And you know all this because you were there, weren't you?
I was there. I saw it all live. Got to meet a lot of cool people. A lot of people came up to me from Nashville in the music world, hugged me. Hadn't seen them in years. Yeah, absolutely. It was fantastic to see all the wins for these independent artists. So thank you, the Josie Boards. We plan on being entered next year. So yeah, some of my artists that I have.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, I'm Dr. Mary Anderson. For those of you that are watching my show that may be new to my show or you've hung around for a while, this whole couple of years, I appreciate all the fans, everybody that watches the show. I'm also an artist manager and a family nurse practitioner, podcaster. So I also manage artists. So it's I do it all, as you found out yesterday. So thank you guys so much for watching. All the viewers that are on right now on Facebook, we thank you. YouTube, we thank you. Twitter, we thank you. Thank you guys so much for that.
What's
And
up, Joe? What's up, buddy? I knew you'd find it.
hey, Joe.
Joe, he wanted me to text him a link, and I was in the middle of all this, so but I knew he would find it. My buddy Joe Mahalik's in here, and he kind of did this to himself or commented something, but Joe is one of the best artists around, and I'm not just talking about singer. Joe actually does wood paintings, and he does a bunch of wood paintings for different people. He did a Pittsburgh Steelers one. He did one for our mutual friend Brett Allen Morgan. He did one for that.
He was Joe saying that he was nominated for Independent Country Music Award. Congratulations. He was nominated for a King Eagle Award in Nashville. That is awesome, Joe.
Yeah, and
Congratulations.
well deserving of it too, because Joe he got the privilege and honor of lifetime to open for Charlie Daniels.
Oh my goodness, that I did not know.
Yeah.
Man, that's so cool.
He doesn't really talk about that, but Joe's one of the greatest talents, and he's right outside of Pennsylvania, and he's one of my best friends. And honestly, Joe picked me up when I was in a dark place, and I owe so much to Joe and his wife Susan and his granddaughter and his family. I love them so much.
Awesome.
Hi, Lance. I love you right back, buddy. You're a good dude.
Very cool. Very cool. It's so cool to see everybody coming on here. We should have a bunch more people here shortly. So, Kaden, tell me a little bit about what the best moment has been for your podcast. Something that maybe you've experienced that's pretty cool, or something that happened like once in a lifetime, or you're just like, Mary, this is the coolest thing that's ever happened.
Well, getting to talk to and hang out with William Lee Golden has been nice. I love talking with William Lee. That dude, he is hilarious. And everybody in their own way has been a very important piece to my show. But if you were to pin me down and say, what has been the most life-changing podcast you've ever done, was a young girl by the name of Danny Stefanetti. And there's a lot of reasons why I choose Danny. It's because Danny, she came from Perth, Australia. And she has spent 20 years at making it in the music industry. And I remember I was at this exact house. I was actually sitting in this exact spot right here. And I got a phone call from Jeff Panzer one day. And Jeff calls me and he goes, hey, you ready to interview the next big thing? So I take off and I run across the street. I book it to my house. And he goes, no, not today. We're going to call you. And he made me think we were doing a podcast right then and there. And but to watch Danny's career and so many people, take off, not because of the podcast, but because you were the one that to give them their first, not break, but you were their first ever podcast, and you started out with them, believing in them, and
Mm-hmm.
loving them.
Mm-hmm.
You get it.
I do. I do. I have a good friend by the name of David Bradley, and he does a lot of the podcasting for the CMAs. And he started him and I started out about the same time. And our podcasting styles are a little different. I'll have to introduce you to him. He's a great guy, but he's come out to some of my artist concerts, and we keep up with each other every now and then, and text, and we've met at a couple of places. Dustin Spears concerts have been one of them. We've both interviewed Dustin, but he always tells me, when you believe in an artist and you put your best foot forward with them and you follow them and see them grow and you can have them back on your show, it means a lot to that artist.
Yeah, and
It does.
there's been a lot of talent that's come through my doors, not on my show, not just music, but I remember we had Dave Higby on a show, and his name is Doobie Dave in the business, and Doobie Dave got the name because he loves the Doobie Brothers so much, and but no, I've opened my doors to comedy now, so we're going to start accommodating some
Oh,
comedy into a show, and we're also looking for inspiring stories on the podcast as well, because I have a story myself that we can get into if you would like, but
I would love to hear it. My viewers love stories. Go for it. The floor is yours.
well, growing up in Seattle, Washington, Lake Stevens area. Uh, you when you go through what I went through as a baby, 8 months of your first 8 months of your life is born in a hospital,
Hmm.
and you're so young that you don't remember everything. But there are some things in life that stick with you lifelong, and you got to learn how to look past those obstacles. Joe Bonzel, the Oaks, said it the best. He said, there's always going to be life obstacles hitting at you. You know, you got to
True.
look to overcome them, and you can't let the obstacles get to you.
True.
And that's true with everything. But anyway, I was born in Seattle, Washington. And I was very sick when I was a baby. I I died a couple times, and the doctors were able to save me, and because I was so young that they were able to do that. Uh, so I had all my medical procedures. The doctors were actually going to stop at 10 if I didn't make it to 10. If they tried to
Yes.
bring me back to life 10 times, and then after the 10th time they'd give up. But I had an obligation out through all life. And this kind of ropes back into your first question that you asked me, how I got started in the podcast. And when I was a little kid, I always knew that I wanted to be in an entertainment industry of some sort, whether I was standing on this is a true story, when I would stand on my family's kitchen table playing Jason Aldean's Big Green Tractor. Some of my childhood friends will remember that one, or when I would do Elvira by the Oaks in high school, and people would
Elvira. Love
go.
it.
Everybody knows that song. You can't go. Yeah, that she was a nice movie, but that also was a great song too. And but no, man, when you, I always wanted to do something in the entertainment industry, and I never wanted to be a roadie. I never wanted to be out on the road, traveling. but I also had a desire in my heart to help people as well.
Sure.
And I wanted to do that. So I said, "What can I do?" And Joe Rogan was just taking off. Joe and the whole Tiger King and that whole thing, yeah, they all started going haywire. And I looked back at that podcast thing and I said, "Let me try and get into that." And like I said, I recorded my first episode in 2020 out of the death of my grandmother, and I caught the bug that day, and ever since I've pushed on and persevered, met some great people along the way, and there's a lot of people that have helped me get here to where I'm at here today. And yeah, I've come a long way.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Looking back at some of your podcasts and hearing your stories, you definitely have come a long way. I'm so proud of you for that. You keep pushing. You keep pushing. Absolutely. You
Yeah,
keep doing you and keep doing, you know, if you love something and you make it into a career, you're never going to work a day in your life.
that's right. That's right. And that's some of the best things you can. That's some of the best. That's the best way you got to look at life. If you love everything that you do in life, you're not you're not well, not appreciative of everything, but you enjoy life. There's so
Yeah.
much negativity in the world that we can't just stop and take a deep breath and tell ourselves everything's going to be okay, you know, because
Yeah.
everything will be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. With your podcast guests, I know you asked me this yesterday, so I'm going to ask you now. Um, what kind of special things have you been doing on your show? I know I do something where I kind of turn the interview around, but what have you been doing?
Well, I do rapid fire questions to close out the show. I enjoy doing those because I think it kind of brings it all together, and it kind of
Sure.
it's a fun way to close out a great time that we've had.
Absolutely. Do you give back to the community, and how do you do that?
Well, I do. I just here in a few days, I got my high school, Innovation High School. I'm very involved in everything that they do, and so they have a big old. They're doing a big old concert down there, and I'm going to go surprise all the kids and say hi to everybody and donate about. No, I'm not going to say it on here, but uh, I'm gonna be doing stuff to help out that school and give back and I I got a story about that high school and that high school is Pride Schools and Innovation High School. And on my graduation day, Jeff, I got a phone call, and on my phone it said unknown caller. It said unknown caller on my phone here. And I knew exactly who it was. So I pick it up, and it was Jeff Panzer on the other side. And he goes, "Hey." I go, "What's up, man?" And he goes, "I got a guest on the other line. He wants to wish you congratulations." And all I hear is this: "Hey, Caden, congratulations, man." It was William Lee Golden and Jeff Panzer had called me to congratulate me very on graduating. And, they didn't have to do that, but they did, and I'm thankful for them. Just as I'm thankful for everything that has happened with my podcast and with me kind of growing up in that high school. Because as a kid, my parents struggled to find the right education for
Sure.
me. But it wasn't until this school that I was a founding member of came along and gave me that kind. They weren't really so much teachers as they were kind of mentors,
Mm-hmm.
and guys like Dario Romero. He actually played for the Miami Dolphins.
Wow.
He would be great on your show. Let's see if I can make that happen.
No yell. You heard it here.
Yeah, I'll get Dario. If Dario follows me on Facebook, he'll see it. Dario, get your butt on this show. uh, Trisha, I'm not sure she wants me to say her last name, but Charlie Coffin, Sean Hoof, Brian Via, Brenda McDonald. The list goes on and on. Jackie. Mac. Everybody. That has helped. That was there for the time I was there. Cassie. Everybody that was there when I was there, and we still keep in contact.
That's cool.
It's like a family.
Yeah. That's really cool. That is by far the coolest thing I've ever heard. Man, that's awesome. So we know you give back to the community, and I just want to thank you for that and everything that you do. And that's such a cool event going down to the high school. I give you high fives for that, man.
Okay.
High fives. Yeah, air high fives there. So you also play music, is that correct?
Well, I do. Yeah. I can make sounds come out of a guitar. No, I enjoy the musical aspect of it, and I enjoy playing the guitar, and I enjoy writing music and playing music, and I enjoy music. I'm going to quote one of the greatest guys to ever speak this sentence in this, what I'm about to say to this podcast. His name is William Lee Golden. I'm about to quote one of the greatest quotes he's ever said.
He's awesome. We love William.
William Lee Golden. Go get his book, Behind the Beard, for Christmas. Shameless plug. WilliamLeeGoldenBook.com if you want it autographed. He's not paying me to do that. Love you, Golden. But anyway, William Lee said this. He said that music is more than just a healing power. Music is a part of the healing body. And it helps you in every which way. Emotionally, mentally, physically, and even spiritually. When there are people who can't walk, who try and take their first steps, they might be doing it to music. Now, there's a message in every song, but just because there's a message, that doesn't mean it's good. But emotionally, we can all heal from music. Music is a healing power. And yeah.
That is so true. I was watching a segment that Nuke Bushner put out. And I know Nuke and his manager, Kenny Miles. And he was in the hospital playing for somebody. I'm not going to tell you who it is. You guys can look it up. But music does have healing powers. And I actually did a huge research paper with my doctorate, my PhD, with music because I love music so much. It's won many awards. And it showed the healing power of music. So for those of you that don't know, I'm also a professor. I have 10 degrees. I have a doctorate degree, a master's degree, 10 nursing degrees, a PhD, a doctor of nursing practice. And one of the things that you're like, goodness, Mary, what else are you going to do over here? What, are you like Superwoman?
You're
I'm smart.
Hey, Mary, you're showing me up on things now.
I don't know about that. I don't tell a lot of people what I do, but
I got to get my butt in the gear now.
Oh, gosh. No, man. I spent 15 years in school. So it took a long time to get those degrees. And y'all, if you're in college and you're listening to this and you're like, what's the point? There's a point. Stay in school. Get it done. Get it done. Follow your dreams. You never know where it's going to take you.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all.
Stay in school or else you're going to end up like us on a podcast.
Well, wait a minute. I went to school.
No, I'm kidding.
Funny guy there, Mr. Kaden. Yeah. Funny guy.
That's the thing is, that whatever I'm doing, I try and incorporate a good laugh, into a podcast or even into a live show because the world is so dark and we do very much complaining, little less laughing. And I think it's time that we flip that to where we do very little complaining and very more laughing.
Yeah, absolutely. That paper that I wrote for my doctorate degree, my PhD, y'all, it is published. You can find it on academia.com. It's under Dr. Mary Anderson. Um, but yeah, so what I did was I took music and I put it in this device. It's called the Dream Pad, and it's put into a little pillow. And there was a whole bunch of people that were having trouble sleeping with anxiety, getting to their appointments, and I allowed them to listen to this little device with their type of music, and it vibrated the inner ear and it relaxed you within seconds. Your anxiety went down, your blood pressure went down, all kinds of biomarkers, we call them biomarkers, they went down so that it showed immediately the effects of music. So I'm a big component of music healing. A lot of them were able to, after months of being on this, they were able to get off their anxiety meds. They were able to sleep better. Um, their depression decreased. And this is just by using this little dream pad pillow with music that, again, vibrated the little bone in your inner ear, y'all, and relaxed you. And also, it had a healing effect, it had a psychological effect, like you talk about. So yeah, those results are published, so you guys can look that up. It's a pretty cool thing. But I'm a big component of music healing. I've heard a lot of people talk about how music saved their life, um, especially with addictions. Music is really healing psychologically too. So that's one good thing about my podcast is that I bring a medical aspect to the world's issues or problems or a way of explaining. So yes, that has been wonderful.
And you do a really good job at it too. I've been a fan for a while now, and I've got to watch you grow, and you're just a blast to watch, and I'm honored to be here. And it's been
Oh, thank
it's
you.
we have become buddies over the past couple days now, and I remember when I called you and I told you what you need. I remember our first conversation. I don't know what time of the day it was. No, I'm kidding. But I remember I called you, and I remember how much of an impact that phone call had on you. And
Yes.
I remember leaving that phone conversation, and I said, "There's a reason why God put her in my life, is because she needs a test dummy." So no, I'm kidding.
You're funny. Should we tell them what we're doing? Should we tell our audience what we're doing?
Well, I think we can not go too far into it, but yeah.
Okay. We're doing a collaboration together. Um, we are writing a song and we're going to place that out as a single together.
Or maybe what I might and we have another event coming up too that you guys need to be on the lookout for. Your boy Caden here might be on the move somewhere. We might be not moving, but we might be singing hey to a few state friends of mine over there in the great state of Florida. I don't know what we got planned.
Never know, y'all. Stay tuned. Follow
Never.
us. Y'all follow us.
I got
You never
family.
know.
Yeah, my family's smart. I have a lot of crap ton of family in a crap ton of different states, so traveling's not that hard. I just go say, hey, I'm gonna go see Uncle Larry and go do an event.
Yeah, come on. Let's hey. I
Yeah,
get phone calls all the time sometimes. Mary, can you be here? When?
yeah,
Tomorrow. Oh geez, okay. Let's
yeah.
come on, y'all. Yeah, yeah.
Well, Joe, I did call you yesterday on your birthday, and I did sing you a song, and Joe loves a good Rodney Carrington tune. I'm not going to name you the name of it,
Oh,
but it's a Rodney Carrington tune, and I called him yesterday, and after everything Joe's ever done for me in my entire life, it was the least thing I could do, and I hope I put a little birthday smile on his face, and I could hear him laughing on the other end of the phone when I sang him that
So,
song.
so Joe, how was it? How was the birthday song? Can you tell us?
Joe will tell you. He'll tell you it was amazing. He'll tell you what he told me
Great.
was what he told me it was the best part of his day. Is what he told me.
Woohoo! Awesome.
And he had
Awesome.
Wendy's for dinner.
He made my day. Aw,
Man,
that's awesome. So
no,
Joe has a band too, is that right?
yeah, Joe's Joe he plays music too. He played for Charlie. Well, he like I mentioned earlier, he opened for Charlie Daniels, and it's called the Smokin' Joe and the Wild Horse Saloon band. And they're they I think they got a couple shows coming, but yeah, I can tell you from just knowing Joe and knowing he's a big music guy, and he you got to get him on your show too, because he would be a Joe would make everybody's podcast better. I say everybody, the
What do
three
you say,
guests.
Joe? You want to be
Any,
on my show?
well, he probably won't do it today, but
Probably not.
because
That's okay.
yeah, but Joe, he actually, we have a mutual friend. His name is Brett Allen Morgan, and he has like 30 different shows, and he plays songs on that show, and he shows off some of his artwork that he does
Cool.
on the show as well. So you got to get him to show off some of his artwork.
Cool. We can
Yeah.
arrange a day. All right, Joe. I'll hold you to that. So, Kaden, what has been. So, I heard you're a funny guy. We already know that. Have you ever played a joke on somebody?
Well,
And come on, if you can talk about it, let's talk about it. I think it would be fun.
I
Joe
can't.
did not tell me to say that.
I can't say that. I can't answer that question.
Uh oh.
Okay. Well, I like to play jokes to where I'm. Uh, Never mind.
Okay.
I've never come a question I couldn't answer, but my jokes are pretty stupid, and they're pretty dry sense of humor. So I don't really play many jokes.
I will tell you a joke that I got somebody played on me. It's pretty funny actually. Um, if you tell me one of yours,
Well,
is it PG?
I don't know. I can tell you an embarrassing story. I can tell you that.
Well, hold on. Is Joe shaking his head? I'm not sure about that one.
Well, it was when I was younger, and it actually had my sister had a pink little scooter, and we used to live on kind of like a hill, and I remember I got on that scooter, and it was one of those small ones. He's saying tell it, so I'm going to tell it because
All
Joe said
right.
it. And what Joe wants is what Joe gets, because that's Joe Mahalik right there, buddy. Anyway, I was I went down the hill, and it was so small. I put my tooth through my lip, and we went to the hospital, and the doctor, I'll never forget this as long as I live. The doctor tells me don't eat the glue on your lips because they glued it because it was too. It was I think it was they said it was too put together for it needed to be stitches or something like that. And so I said okay. And sure enough, I went home. I was really, really hungry, and I was like, nothing to do. 7:15 the next morning. It stayed on for about 24 hours. I took it off and I ate it. And my mom comes down and she goes, "Where's the glue?" And I said, "Down here. You can get it back in about 2 hours." And she panicked.
Oh.
And then we ended up going back to the hospital.
Was it toxic?
What's that?
Was it toxic?
Oh,
What happened?
I don't remember it. It was so long ago. That's all I could remember, And
Oh goodness. Hmm.
but my mom's. I guarantee my mom's listening to this, and
She's probably like, you don't remember that? Well, see, the doctor.
yeah.
I just, I just see her. Do you remember anything that they did? Did he
Well,
just sew it back up?
I remember I don't remember anything after that, but I remember they glued it back together. And I remember. All right, I'll tell you this injury right here. I got stitches in my finger because my uncle. Well, he's not really my uncle. Long story. Anyway, uh, my biological father.
Joe said,
We don't let him around glue that much anymore. Yeah,
that's funny.
we he's right about that. We really don't. Dot or boxing knives. Let me tell you this story.
Oh.
Uh, I was I was cutting something and I was cutting a box and I was trying to put pack stuff in there. And I remember I diced my leg open. No, you're not. You're not just kidding. You know you meant that. I was cutting the box and I cut it the wrong way and I diced my finger open. And
Ooh.
yeah, little less to say, I haven't cut a box since that day.
We don't let him around knives either, huh, Joe?
Yeah, no, we really don't do anything. Yeah, but I'm a really dangerous guy in a small body, so you got to tame me down just a little bit.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you recovered. I
Yeah,
guess I got to tell my story now. But yeah, they don't let me around knives either, or uh, let me go downstairs by myself anymore because I tripped and fell once and knocked myself out for a good hour, and the neighbor found me. So I'm not allowed to go downstairs by myself anymore. Um, I have glasses, and I guess it went from a warm room to a cold room, and you know, fogged up my glasses, and I fell.
yeah,
But yeah, they were like, "You knocked yourself out." I'm like, "Really? I don't remember it." Um,
yeah.
yeah, it wasn't. My poor dog ran outside and laid on top of me and whined for an hour till somebody. Okay, that's a little funny now, but it wasn't funny at the time.
No,
Uh, yeah, so I mean, there we go. That's an embarrassing story for me.
yeah,
Yeah, they thought I broke my legs, but I didn't.
yeah. What? What's embarrassing about that one?
Uh, because I'm young and I shouldn't be falling downstairs and knocking myself out.
Well, get hurt is a part of life.
Yeah.
You get hurt all throughout your life, and you have stupid surgeries, and then if you're blessed to never have had a surgery, you praise God, thank you, Lord. But I've had 11 surgeries, and out of all
Oh,
my 11, yeah, out of all my 11 surgeries, uh, I'm not too old to remember all of them, but they're not life lasting. Like maybe some lung problems here and there, but other than that, I try and take care of myself. Joe has a funny story.
should we let him on the podcast to tell it?
I don't think he'll come on screen, but I guarantee you can share it on the screen when he puts it in the comment section. I
All
guarantee
right,
you.
go for it, Joe. Hey, wait, save it for my show. Save it for my show.
Yeah, yeah. Save it for a show, Joe. Well, then he might forget it.
I don't know. I mean, well, we have come to the part of my show where you get to ask me questions. You get to interview me. It's kind of a fun thing that we do. You can ask anything, nothing's off limits. Um,
No,
go
I,
for it.
I know the people that I have on all the platforms. I know the kind of crowd we had today. I know not to ask any stupid questions, but I'll ask you this question: what has been the highlight of getting to do your show?
Mm. That is a tough one. Woo! Nobody's asked me that yet. Let me think. Hmm. I think it would be getting invited to the AMAs and the Josie Awards.
Yeah.
And I say that because I don't consider myself this celebrity or anything. And people are like, Mary, you are. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I promise. Getting to walk the red carpet and people know who I am, I'm shocked. I feel like I'm going to pass out. I was on the red carpet for the Josie Awards. I had people yelling my name. Like, you know who I am?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It shocks you, you know.
It
Shocks
does. And the first time somebody asked for my autograph, I was like, I'm not famous enough. They're like, yeah, girl, I watch you all the time. So I think that's been the highlight. Just realizing that, I reach a lot of people. I touch a lot of people's lives. Not only artists, because I do manage artists.
you. Yeah.
You never know who's going to listen, and I think you feel the same way, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Whether it be with music or whether it be, with the podcast, you always go into the mindset of can this affect somebody? Can this, you
mm-hmm.
know, what can I do to inspire somebody? And
Yeah,
with every song that you sing, with every podcast you do, with every book you write, you're inspiring somebody because you have to start from somewhere,
yeah,
and you tell them through your music, your podcast, your books, your anything that you do, is you say, hey, I've been able to you've been able to make it this far.
I'm sorry,
Let's go further.
Joe.
What did Joe say?
Joe, you poor thing. I'm sorry, y'all.
Hey,
I'm
say,
just, I'm just reading his story. Joe, ouch.
hey,
Oh my god. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. This never happens to me. So, Joe, I'm gonna read this.
yeah, put it up here.
Oh my gosh. Okay. He says he had. I never crack up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. He said I had chapped lips and found.
I had
I
chapped.
can't read.
You want me to?
Yeah.
I had
Oh my
chapped lips,
god.
and I found a cheap, and I found a chapstick in the nightstand. I was going to sleep, and so I put a bunch on. I woke up the next day. My wife was laughing at me. The two I thought was chapstick was bright pink sunscreen, so I had pink all around my mouth. The fact I've known you for how long and I've never heard that story, and you just share it now.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh. Okay. I'm picturing this in my.
Well, you got to picture the type of guy
Oh,
Joe is. Joe. That's my manager right there. That's Joe Mahalik right there for you. He walks around with pink chapped lips all day.
at least it wasn't super glue.
Well,
Okay, that's true.
he would have preferred it either way.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. That
I
was
love
just
you, Joe.
special.
You're a good you're a good man, Joe. You're a good man. Thank you for putting up with me as much as you do, man.
And what Cadence was saying, if we can get back to that, I'm sorry to interrupt you. That was so rude.
It was funny, Joe's I call him a musical and comedy genius because that he tells me some stories that you
I
know he's
yes,
family.
Joe, I can't wait to hear more stories. Okay, we're gonna have a comedy hour with you, Joe.
He has a lot of
Oh
stories from the road. He has a lot of stories from the road,
man,
and he won't. You probably do too.
I can tell y'all some stories,
I
some
can
weird
too.
stories.
I can
Uh,
too. I got a nephew, and me and that nephew are tight as P's and Q's, but that little gets me in trouble.
oh,
And yeah. He never mind. I'm not gonna. I can't talk about my nephew because then I might end up breaking you like Joe broke you, and I can't do that again.
I've never laughed. I've never. Y'all broke me. My audience knows. They're like, she can keep a straight face through anything. Listen. If I can keep a straight face through Dustin Spears taking off his shirt on my show, yes, that really happened. He was promoting his new song, Titty Tattoos, and he thought it would be fun if we got views if he took his shirt off on my. I kept
I
a
ain't
straight
doing
face
that
on that
here.
one. Oh
Uh-uh.
no! Don't take off your shirt.
No. Uh-uh. You don't
No,
want to.
I
You
still
don't.
can't believe Dustin did that. Lord,
You,
he Dustin Spears is a funny guy. He's a good musician, but he's a funny guy. And if y'all have never watched him, he will make you burst out laughing. He
yeah, Mary. You don't have to worry about me not taking off my shirt because I'm. There's nothing you want to see here. I promise you, it's all
I don't
fat.
want to see it. Dustin, Dustin, you started a trend, buddy.
Love you, buddy. Yeah, I'm not taking my shirt off. I'm not
Love.
him or I'm not Bert Kreischer. Anyway.
He uh he actually said that. He said we're going to start a trend, and I've had a lot of guests come on that watch the podcast, and they're like, "Can we take our shirt off like Dustin Spears?" See, Dustin, I know you're watching. You're out there watching me. I watch his live stuff, and he watches mine. And every time he's in town, we try to get together and play pool.
Shout out to
Um,
Bailey Zimmerman before I forget. Bailey, I know you watch these. What's up,
yeah,
dude?
Bailey.
Bailey Zimmerman. I know you watch these, man. I love your music. Morgan, I'm not sure if you do, but I love your music too. And it'd be an honor for me to meet you whenever. And let's make it happen. Sorry.
Y'all heard it. Y'all,
Sorry.
Bailey, Morgan, if y'all are watching this,
Kane
y'all
Brown.
get in touch. I'd
Kane
love to have
Brown.
you on, and um, you know, for Kaden to meet y'all.
Yeah, and if I got Kane Brown, whoo, would I have a woman who I if I got Kane Brown to meet my woman, she would throw herself on the ground. She could die a happy girl right there, and that's she's my best friend. She gets better looking every day. That's the woman that you saw before, and
Oh,
you know we have a really funny love story that I've
she
never
doesn't
showed
want
up.
you to tell it. You
I
better
will.
not tell it if she don't want
I
you to.
will. You know what? She's never gonna watch this, so
You never know.
well, I hope
What
I
was the
don't.
young words? Don't get in trouble. You be in the dark. Don't get in
Well,
trouble for me.
I know how I can outbribe her. I've been smart when you have a girlfriend like I do, who's a
No
different
comment.
breed. Anyway, so I'll tell you how we met. She added me one night. This was April the 12th, 2023. And I remember that day because that was the day my life changed forever. That was the day that I knew I could believe in love again. Was that day.
Oh,
And I will never forget. I'm not sharing this part of the story. I was at a store and I was getting a few things and I had happened to have a pen there, and I got recognized in the store, so I was signing some things, and then some lady walked over to me. I signed it, and yeah, stuff like that happened. So as I'm walking out, I get a notification on my phone, and it's for an app called Snapchat. Now,
yep.
I use Snapchat, because all my high school friends have had it, so I talked to all of them on there, and on Facebook or something. But anyway, so I get this alert on my phone and I answer it. I pick it up and it's her username. So I add her back. I don't think anything of it. She started texting me and I was like, okay, I kind of like you. And then she goes, and then the next thing that made me fall in love with her, she says, Spokane, Washington. I hate that place. I'm like, oh, lady after my own dreams. And so we got together the next day on her dad's birthday. And we've been together 8 months on the 13th of December. And she's my best friend. She's my
Very cool.
she's just like Joe. She's just like you. She's just one of the people. And I know I got to give a few shout outs, but she was one of those, the ones that I had to give a quick shout out to. I had to give a shout out to Joe, you, Mary. Thank you so much for everything you've been doing, and what you're going to do. I want to say thank you to Jeff Panzer for helping me get this far. I can't get here without you, buddy. I love you. I couldn't have got here as far as you. William Lee Golden for believing in me. I love you, William. Danny Stefanetti for just congratulations to you on your podcast or your career growing and getting better every year and every day, really. There's never a bad song you can't play. That's true. Got to give a shout out to Corinne, Lee Newton, Dale Houston, Ron Moore Jr. He is a fantastic painter with Parkinson's disease. And if you see some of the artwork that Ron has done, you need to get him on your show ASAP. Ron is one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, and he has a story of his own. And some of the paintings that he has will make you cry. And they've made me tear up, a few of them have. And that's the talented that Ron Moore Jr., Ron Johnson with On Fire Concerts, which you probably met at the Josie's. And all the guys out there at the Josie's, Tony, what was it, Tony Brown? I think his name was out there. Epic Roxy, going back to Twitter for a minute. Epic Roxy, she's always promoting us. You've probably seen her in the past couple of days on your Twitter thing. George W. Martinez and Valerie, Kate Staten, Rick Miller, Stephen Astro, so many great people that I follow. And another podcast that I'm going to get to be on here in a few weeks is a buddy of mine, and he has a podcast, and it's one of the best ones to get on if you're a big country music fan, an independent country music fan. His is one of the best podcast stations in the nation. And then I got to finish up the shout outs to my family. I would not be here today if it wasn't for the good Lord above and my family, my mom, my stepdad, my grandpa, my sisters, like I mentioned, my girlfriend. Everyone in their life, whether I've met you or not, has impacted me in some way. And so to everyone that has impacted my life in some way, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And Mary, I love you so much, and thank you so much for bringing people together and doing what you do best here on your show. You are a healing voice. You're a healing power to so many of us. And we look to you for the light and incredible light that you bring to our show. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for everything you do and how honored I am to be here on your show here today. And sorry if I'm talking too much, but I'm just so honored. And thank you for the privilege for letting me cut one of your songs. I heard it ladies and gentlemen, yesterday for the first time. And I said, ask Mary. I didn't say, hey, good song. I said, I'm cutting that song.
Thank you.
It's the best thing I've heard since Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys. That era of country music. It made me think of that music. And I just want to say thank you so much for what you do for independent artists yourself. And you're a bright light. And you got to keep going to shine that light for more people like me and the podcasters coming up. And you're my inspiration. So I got to thank you and put you in my shout outs as well, Miss Mary.
Thank you. You've just brought tears to my eyes. Thank you, Mr. Kaden. You are totally awesome. And to everybody out there listening, all of our viewers, anybody that does music, anybody that does podcasting, just anybody, any one of our fans, Kaden's fans, y'all don't ever give up. You just keep following your dreams because life is too short. You got to do what you love.
Hey, I just got something right here on my Twitter. I know I shouldn't be looking at my phone, but that's fine. Thank you to the people over at Radio WIGWAM. Thank you so much for the like on our podcast here today. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all. Thank you so much.
And
absolutely.
Yeah, I just while you were saying that, I was listening to you, but I just saw that pop up on my phone, and I was like, I got to share that with Mary. So
very cool. You know what? I wonder if they put you and I on to talk.
Well, we would love to. That promoting this podcast and thank you guys. Thank you, Mary, for just having a platform. Because it's not every day you get a musician, a podcaster, and a doctor.
That's true.
You're 3 in 1.
Yeah, and that's true. People are shocked. I don't know why they're shocked, but they are. Well, thank you so much for being on this show. And is there anything you want to close out to say to our viewers? It's just been a privilege having you here. And thank you for what you're doing for the community, the music and the podcasting community. And you are also a bright light. And don't you let that go out. You keep pushing. You keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. I'm going to say this to close out. If you ever have a dream, if you ever have an aspiration in life, as a wise man by the name of Jeff Panger once told me, and I'm here to tell you, you can't look back at those memories. That you got to look back at the positive memories that have got you to where you're at here today. We all have a story. We all have something we're known by. We're all kind of given a nickname, so to speak. And I want to give one more quick shout out to my sister. Her name is Shaylin Wolf. There's a quick reason I'm giving that in particular sister a shout out. She wrote a tattoo. I got a tattoo, my very first ever one. I went to my sister and I said, I want something. Actually, I told her what I wanted. I got KGC on my arm. And the reason I got KGC was to thank every single one of you who have helped me get this far, because I could not have done it alone. It takes a whole team to get me to where I'm at here today. I can assure you right here, right now, that I am here because of all of you. You guys have helped me in so many more ways than one. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And America, just because the world is so dark, just because everyone is hurting, can you help motivate people, so to speak? Motivation is key in everything that we do. Be a shining star in your life so you can be a shining star to other people. And we can really get stars back up in those, we can get stars.
Yeah. Amen. I could not have said it better myself. Kaden Collins, y'all. Y'all go watch his show. It's the KGC show. And Thank you so much for being on my podcast. It has been a pleasure, and thank you so much for all the beautiful words. Right back at you, buddy. Right back at you. And let's
We,
keep in touch. And y'all, you will be hearing from us very soon. Within this next coming year, we'll release our duet, our single.
well,
I'm looking forward to that. That's something Joe probably didn't know.
I
Surprise, Joe.
well, I don't know if Joe's still here or not. I think he got tired of me. I run my mouth too much. he, you know, he has the ability to tune me out. I'll be doing a Facebook live. I'll be doing a Facebook live show, and he'll be commenting and everything, and you don't hear from him for a while, and you say, Joe, you go to sleep. About 5 comments later, no, I'm still here.
He's still there.
Yeah, he was waking up from his nap.
Uh-oh, Joe.
Uh-oh, Joe, he's gonna call me. But no, thank you, Mary, for everything that you do here, and thank you so much for the positivity and the impact that you have. And it's been an honor for me to be here today. Um, thank you guys all for watching, and we got to do this again sometime. It was a blast.
You are always welcome. Once you're a part of the Healing Vocals family, you can come back as much as you want. So definitely, we should give viewers an update
Yeah,
here probably in about another month or two. So thank you so much. This is Dr. Mary Anderson closing out the show with Healing Vocals podcast and artist management. Thank y'all so much for watching. It's been a pleasure. Um, go look us up. Go look up the KGC show. Um, y'all watch Kaden. He's brilliant at what he does. So thank you so much.
thank you, Mary.
Signing off.
See you later.